Veterans Day this year has extra significance. Its origin goes back to World War I. That war to end all wars broke out 100 years ago. As our David Ona reports, the vets who endured that war saw some of the worst violence in history, yet so few of them are remembered today.
It's a war that has long since faded from the world's headlines. 100-year-old film for the battlefield doesn't even look real. But World War I was a global nightmare. It brought so many horrible new innovations: aerial bombardment, tanks, deadly gas, machine guns. The United States threw millions of men into this hell, yet few of us today are even aware if we had family in this war.
Most of my knowledge of Hitoshi, my grandfather, was passed down to me by my aunt, my father, because I was 5 years old when he passed away.
Jerry Fukui from Playa del Rey is a rarity. Not only has his family preserved his grandfather's legacy, but they've even held on to pieces of it.
And this is his uniform.
Fukui describes his grandfather Hitoshi as a proud American citizen. He was drafted, then fought in horrific battles in Belgium and France.
During the war, he was selected to be a runner. So he would take messages from one trench to another trench.
The world has changed dramatically since 1914. Countries where the carnage took place haven't forgotten, but are replacing bad with good.
Here in Belgrade, where the Sava and the Danube rivers come together, the city enjoys a thriving nightlife. Restaurants, nightclubs, bars are filled with patrons every night. It's a stark contrast to what happened here 100 years ago, when from this very spot, Austro-Hungarian forces tried to invade the city. It had become known as the first battle of World War I.
Today, when we talk about warfare, pretty much all the concepts that are in place in modern warfare emerged during the First World War.
It would be just the beginning of overwhelming violence in the region. More than half the male population in Serbia was killed. In this small village, a monument in the middle of town lists all those from this community who died in the war.
It's his grandfather, Dragoše Filipović.
I find one man who has two grandfathers on it, another whose great-grandfather is here. They don't forget. At Fort MacArthur in Rancho Palos Verdes, a small band of men keep the memory alive as well. Reenactors who, once a year, teach us what World War I was about.
With us doing this, remembering the sacrifices that our forefathers made and the freedoms that we have now, it's really important to just keep it going. So I had family fighting in World War I, so here we are now trying to represent them.
People who understand that being a veteran of any war takes supreme sacrifice, something that is sometimes lost on this country. Even Fukui's grandfather was slighted after he proudly served. When World War II broke out, he was sent to an internment camp, and even then, locked up behind barbed wire by his own country, would still wear his uniform.
He was very, very proud of being a veteran.
There is a universal bond all veterans share, no matter the war. Men and women who deserve to be recognized by each and every generation.
And we should never forget on how they served the country and how they gave up their lives for us.
So it's no coincidence Veterans Day falls on the day World War I ended, because after the war, our country decided to honor those who fought by declaring Armistice Day a national holiday. In the 50s, following the great sacrifice of the Second World War and the Korean conflict, Armistice Day was changed to Veterans Day to recognize all vets, which we do today, and they, of course, all deserve it.
Yes.